Hello and welcome to another classic episode of the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Now, one of the concepts I've waited to do on this show for the longest time ni hii yenye tunataka kufanya leo. And it couldn't have come at a better time. Now, this past Monday was KDF Day. And KDF for Kenya Defense Forces. I have to clarify that because najua siku hizi ukisema KDF kuna watu akili inaenda kwa staple food ya Kakitu Deficiency Forces. For real. Na so hii matufali watu wanakula kayole sio mchezo. Jaribu kuikula kavu at your own risk. Now, that's not the KDF I mean. One of our guests for this episode is literally the first Kenyan to be enlisted in the Kenyan Special Forces. He started as a cadet in 2006 and retired as a paratrooper. See, the basic knowledge I have, paratroopers are the members of an airborne. They are members of an airborne unit of soldiers wa kudondoka kwa ndege na maparachute. Ni kama makanga wa ndege. But elite. Our guy is technically Chuck Norris in the flesh. Wasi wa DJ Afro umse ni komando na nusu. Hawa niseme dangamanya. I say this because the unit he served in is in the same class or league na Delta Force, na zile Navy SEALs in the US. Byron Adera is in the house. Thank you. Asante sana. Also in studio is a lady who has served as a psychologist in the army and was very instrumental in helping and treating mental health challenges among the troops. She's the founder of True North. Retired Major Wairimo Mokoria is in the house. Asanteni sana. Before we get to that part of the show, first of all, we have to give it up to Eliud Kipchoge. What makofi yake. Thank you. That was solid. See, apart from hizi stories za bangi zimejaa kwa news, mara polisi walichoma bangi za mamilioni ya pesa, mara basi la kanisa limepatikana likisafirisha bangi. Apart from all that, courtesy of one Eliud Kipchoge, Kenya has never been this high on the world map. For real. Yes. Never. That was clean. Congratulations are in order for the world champ. Eliud Kipchoge is the first human being in the world to run a marathon in under 2 hours. He finished the 42-kilometer race in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds. In the remaining 20 seconds, ndio ijaze 2 hours, in no particular order, he used 10 seconds to greet the deputy president. He used 7 seconds for sign language gratitude. Ya kusho asanteni sana. For the remaining 3 seconds, he hugged his wife. For real. Yes. Mrs. Kipchoge had traveled to Austria, in Vienna in Austria, to witness Kipchoge's shortest performance ever. Yes. And haters walisema ati hiyo 20 seconds Kipchoge alibakisha. Hiyo 20 seconds. Utile Brown angekuwa ameenda marathon zake mbili. Moto. But that's don't think about that. That's besides the point. Now, aside from the glory Kenya has received from the 159 challenge, we also have gotten to understand a word that has been taken for granted for so long. Pacesetters. These were the guys who accompanied Kipchoge on the track. Ilikuwa kama mbogi yake, unajua. Kazi yao actually ilikuwa ni kupea mtu psych. Wakukimbize, alafu ukikaribia finish line, wakuache wewe umalizie. As it turns out, this is not a new concept. We have pacesetters in almost every aspect of life. In fact, here's a rare footage of the original pacesetters. Are the original pacesetters. And come to think of it, this is actually what inspired how hawkers move ukiitisha njugu alafu gari ianze kusonga. Now that nimeanza kuongelea stories za mat, but it's interesting that hata ndani ya matatu siku hizi kuna pacesetters. Unaingia kwa gari kama mmoja wa mwisho, unapata kumbe wewe ndio mmoja wa kwanza. For real. All the other people that you think are passengers, kumbe wanapiga seti. Wanaitwa pacesetters. Sometimes people push pace setting too far. We've had cases of pace setting even in marriage. akina Brayo na Kevo. Sorry. Akina Brayo na Kevo wanakukimbizia, alafu ukikaribia finish line ama ukipropose wanakuacha umalizie. Kuna pacesetters wengine actually husukuma kwa marriage sana mpaka siku ya harusi bana. Be warned though. Kuna watu wapendi hiyo mchezo ya pace setting kwa harusi zao. Haters wanasema hiyo ndio kitu Ruto amekuwa akifanyia baba tangu baba aingie Jubilee. Now, talking of government, by the way, one of the election promises was the creation of 1.3 million jobs every year. Well, the government has lived up to a fraction of that promise, and this week, one job was created for 3 millionaires. Yes, Kenyans, however, are not happy with how the positions have been awarded. Now, among other parastatal appointments, Kenyans were most angry at the gazettement of former Othaya MP Mary Wambui as the chairperson of the Kenya Employment Authority. At the position should have been awarded to the youth. Guys, it's the Employment Authority. It would be understandable if the complaints were because she had been appointed to chair a parastatal where Kenyan youth are mostly experienced. The Kenya Unemployment Authority. What do Kenyan youth know about employment? What do you know about employment? Now, I stumbled upon this clip said to be actual footage of a Chinese Special Forces soldier in training, and I've watched it several times since. Yes. Now, one of the comments on Twitter was that this is an officer set aside by the Chinese government to deal with us if we delay with the SGR payment. For real. Now, my curiosity led me to search if there is any special forces training in Africa, and I found this exclusive footage.
There is a super select breed of men, a special breed of warriors, always ready to answer their nation's call, and who do not live their lives just dreaming of the future they want, but live creating the future they want.
Then what's up? Stop shaking in the village.
That's okay. That's okay. No.
Okay, but it's not.
Now, I don't know what becomes of that, but hiyo party ya kutembea kwa matope, if that special forces training, then kila mtu anaishi Mukuru kwa Njenga ni special forces. Serious. Now, for parents that want to identify kids who could be in the military or in the army, here are some of the signs to look out for. Now, what you have just seen could also pass as an impression of how Kenyans vote in every general elections. Now, this being the week when Kenya Defense Forces were celebrated, appreciated for the good work that they do, the subject of our show tonight is what it takes to be a soldier. I'm very well aware of what comes to mind ukisema soldier. But at least, the role of a soldier, ile kazi ya soldier, which is to protect, is still ingrained deep in people's mind, as was evident in Red Sun's last hit.
Soldier! Umevamiwa! Soldier, umevamiwa!
Kazi ya soldier ni kuprotect watu wakati wamevamiwa. Now, people have different ideas of what it means to be a soldier actually, and there's a lot of mystery surrounding the concept of military and defense, and that's why we've brought pros to help us break it down. Ex-Special Forces Officer Byron Adera and Major retired Wairimo Mukoria will be joining me on the other end of this short break to break this down even further. See you guys in a bit. Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Like I said, we have a classic show lined up for you. Leo tunataka kujua what does it take to make a soldier. Alafu, on the show, we are honored to have the first female psychologist to be enlisted in history, the first female psychologist in history to be employed by the KDF. And we also have the first Kenyan ever to be enlisted in the Special Forces. Wapi makofi ya Byron Adera na Wairimu Mukuria. You deserve better than that, Mazi. Wapi? Asante sana. Karibu sana.
Cheers, man.
Wazi. Hey, Byron, hiyo ni kuunga. Mpaka unatoa salamu huku. Wairimu, pia wewe karibu kwa show.
Thank you.
Wewe, you've been in the military, you've served, you've got very many firsts.
Yes.
Alafu, you're also a psychologist.
Yes.
I have a stereotype about psychologists.
Tell me.
Ukiniangalia hivi, what am I thinking?
I don't read thoughts, but it's a stereotype that is common with a lot of people.
Okay, so Byron, Special Forces. You told me that you are a very, very small community.
Yes, the Special Forces is the smallest community within any army setup. Because to
The
convert,
smallest community.
it's the smallest community. You know, the few, the chosen, the bravest. And they're the deadliest warriors on earth.
Oh, kwa hivyo kuna pia cowards mahali ati.
They're not cowards as such. But ideally, these are the chosen few. Okay. So in terms of the progression, those are the deadliest you have in any military advancement. And the people also get to differentiate themselves in terms of if there's a courageometer, so in terms of courage,
yes, there must be.
mental toughness, high adaptability, physical and mental, toughness. So it's all those things. So talk about the top 1% of the guys that you see in uniform, then you'd get probably the raw material to make a Special Forces operator.
What was so amazing to me is that I came to realize how far my mind would go. That was a shocker, and I loved it.
And when you talk about you are physically fit, as in you are into fitness,
yes.
like gym, just
man.
twerking.
Yeah. I mean, throughout. Wait, what? Upu words have different meanings. I don't know. But
okay. You are as in a gym person, Nini.
So I went to USAI for my undergrad and my graduate school. And me and nilikuwa mtu wa gym. So I knew I was, I was good.
Understand.
But I'm telling you, when I left, first of all, I wish I had a photo. I remember after pass out
photos.
and I came to Nairobi.
But the job.
Yeah, but now this one where now we came during training. There's a photo I took, and I looked like I was like 15 or 14. And immediately we passed out and we came to Nairobi. I remember I went out and I'm trying to go in and this bouncer stands in my way. And I'm still like that fresh fresh out of cadet school. And I'm like, dude, like, are you trying to bring it to me or like what? Like, so I was like, it was very interesting because
Maliza.
No, the guy literally made me take out my ID. He was like, you're underage. And I was like, I'm really flattered, but get out of my way. And he's like, your ID. So I give him my military ID. Oh, madam, pole. And I'm like,
You don't see happy endings, Sidio. That's not what we expected.
You expect that word?
That was your moment to shine.
I did. I was supposed to chapa him or something. I was supposed to.
Bouncer. Byron, what would have been a happy ending?
He becomes my boyfriend.
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't.
No, but he hasn't done anything to deserve it. He's doing his job. And I think this is what we need to realize also, even with policemen and the military and everybody else who is in armed security forces. It's not personal. People are doing their jobs. So when you look at it like that, then you obey. And then you don't have drama. But now me, I'm like, you guys, Kwani, you don't know. Me, I'm in the military. I'm in the army. I move out of... Now, why? The guy is doing his job.
Okay.
You see, in fact, it's more respectful and professional of me to actually respect his hustle.
How do you feel? Thank you. Byron,
Yes.
As a trained soldier, the level of your training, you're top notch. Sijui kama ndio cream de la cream, right? as in I imagine, you correct me if I'm wrong, training yako unaambiwa ngwa like wewe sasa mali umefika unaweza nyorosha adhiriva yote. Unaanzia kwa bypass ukifagia mpaka huko Kitengela. Is that true? Na there is a limit of people. If you beat below those people, ukipatikana umepigana na watu 18 peke yake, you will be arrested. Is that true?
There are guidelines for proportionality. And then
proportionality, the amount of people you can beat up. But proportionality.
Some of this is built on myths, you know. Some of this is built on myths and people's imagination. As they said correctly, yes. Imagination is more important than knowledge, right? So here's the knowledge now.
Okay.
Imagination is very important, it will serve. But the knowledge is, comparatively, a special forces operator is built to operate well beyond the capability of a conventional soldier. Talking about beating an entire estate, River, yes. That's neither here nor there, because I love to look at it from a different perspective.
Special forces guy living there.
I mean, rarely would you find guys like me getting engaged in small-time brawls.
Right.
We probably
wait.
Yes.
Tunaambiwa soldiers wanakuanga wameka polisi hivi. Hivi. Just you would. I wish you would. Wanakuanga hivi. Kwa ukiona polisi unashukisha for practice. Unashukisha tu dirisha kidogo, afande akuja nini wewe? Alafu unangoja akuchokoze mpaka backup ikuje so that you can teach them a lesson together. True of course.
Gosh.
We are in this together. We are in this together. The police are serving an important vision and mission in this country.
Yeah.
And their brothers. I mean, I've operated with several policemen who are doing an extremely good job.
Yeah.
Apart from the very sad news about the rest who are ensconced in their own world, drilling away, not needing to be orientating themselves to the business at hand, that is sad. Because for you to have gone through a very elitist training and you are disciplined force with uniform, yes. You got to be totally orientated towards your vision. Now, that aside, the training that I know of, and I'll talk about the good things, the good side of things, best practices.
Yes.
You don't want to get into a brawl with guys that you call friendly forces, you know, for obvious reasons, okay?
Blue.
And that's blue on blue. Actually, the training talks about it very profoundly. There's no one who fights, even in training. Actually, all of you would lose your jobs.
Yeah.
If you're found, yes, within the army, you know, in training, in service, if you fight and it gets known by anybody else, both of you would lose your jobs. Because
so you graduate without knowing actually whether you can beat up
actually
someone.
The same army, the thing is, the same army encourages internal, like, tests. I mean, look, there's Boxing Day. It's part of the selection process in cadet. There is. You guys fight. And it serves a given character development purpose. Yeah. Same thing, there's a Boxing Day in the parachute regiment for the hopefuls that want to join the parachute regiment.
No, there are no hopefuls that
So there's a Boxing Day on the 5th day of that hell week. You know, it's 6 days of hell.
But what's training like for a lady in the military?
Mm-hmm. Well, my own experience, first of all,
yes.
I went with a backpack and a tracksuit. And then I used to have dreadlocks. Oh. Then I cut them.
You were humbled.
No. I wanted this. Like, I really, like, you know, I was like, what does it take? And I watched G.I. Joe. And I'm like,
oh, you were inspired to join the military?
No. I wasn't actually inspired. For me, it was just a question of, what do these people actually do? Do they have a psychologist? Now, if I went there as a psychologist, I would clear the bush. Oh, this is nice. I mean, I think for the longest time in my life, I'm a bush clearer. I am a pioneer in many things. So this was just me being true to myself. So I show up, and other people show up, and they have big bags, and they have like weaves and long hair. And so the first thing you get in, you go through kinyozi. And I thank God for that. Yeah. And so you have a weave. It was my first time to see a weave. Mtu akinyolewa akiwa amevaa weave. See weave. It was phenomenal. I'd never seen anything like that.
Na inakuwa uchungu hata ikibebwa na upepo. Sasa hii inatolewa hivi.
I don't know, but that's what happened. So my own experience of it is I was ready for it. It was very difficult, you know, like
The
it
press
was.
ups, the
Forget the press ups, man. First of all, you don't sleep, you know, and you do such ridiculous things. You have just, you know, one thing that you have to wear, it has to be clean. You know, then you meet these people, they tell you, I don't care what your level of education is, yo masomo weka kwa kit bag. You're like, what the hell is a kit bag? Then you go there, you meet somebody else, and then they tell you, tukutane kwa amra. You're like, what's an amra? Amari.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a whole new language. Someone is there, you go happy ceiling, and we all look up. He means a sling. I mean, it was...
oh yeah.
So, you know, and I remember the first time, you know, we were being humbled, and everyone couldn't seem to understand what this guy was saying, and we were all looking at each other like, what is he saying? And then he's like, I remember one of them came to me and said, ati na wewe, booking me, ati psychologist, do you ulisikia jeshi watu wamerukwa na kichwa? And I'm like, dude, are you for real? You know, so it was a very interesting experience. I personally loved it because I thought I was fit until I could not even squat, and it was every day, every night, every day,
Do you
every
get
night.
excused wakati umelemewa na squats? Do you get
Ati
excused?
what? Now that's the thing. Hakuna kitu kama kulemewa. And then you learn over time. Wewe ukijaribu ati you're going to slack, probably they won't even bother with you. But everybody else will have to do a little bit extra. And so everybody else is like, what? You better pull up your socks, eh? We cannot be casualties of your lethargy. And so everybody has to come to that, you know, to that level. And what happens to the body? I didn't get my periods for the whole duration of training, which was fantastic.
22 months.
No. So maybe actually this is one thing we should get clear. So I was recruited as a specialist officer.
Yes.
He was recruited as a general service officer.
Okay.
So they are different.
Yes.
So for me, I was employed for my trade.
Yes.
So he was employed to be able to do whatever duties are assigned generally. Although at the end of the day, I came to realize, as long as you're in uniform, you are a general service officer.
As a psychologist, right? Akina Byron, I've gone to the battlefield. They are nini. As in Byron, ameserve, ametoka.
Yeah.
Right. He was trained to be a soldier, right? A super soldier for that matter. How do you help him adjust now with the former Byron, the normal person like me now?
Like who? Like you?
He can't?
Isn't that like downgrading?
Okay, normal person.
I got you back. I'm sorry. I had to.
You all this time you were preparing a
No,
comeback.
I was not. Yes, I was. I saw a window. I took it.
Took you long enough, but
Yes, indeed. It was sweet though. So, I think the most important thing to understand, and I know I meant it as a joke, but it is actually facts. Once you like undergo basic military training and you do your service, if you become a combatant and you leave the service, you don't go back to where you are from. You will never be the person you were before you went through those gates, right?
Yes.
So, you know, and that's why there's that term of military veteran. And there's a whole misconception, and I hear it even with people in uniform, and they say that now you're going to become a civilian. There is no reverse basic training. There is no reverse conversion, you know, because what is so special about basic military training and service is that it fundamentally changes you, you know, structurally, functionally, psychologically, spiritually, mentally, cognitively, you know, you literally, they build you up in their image, you know, so there is no going back. And that's where, you know, True North is coming in, because there is such a difficulty for, you know, soldiers when they leave to be able to just transition and to reintegrate. And I think I have been my best guinea pig, because I documented everything about my process, and I really was very honest about what I was going through, what I was thinking, what I was feeling. And I can tell you it took me probably about 6 to 8 months to like reorient myself. And remember, I am a psychologist, I have people standing with me, I understand what's going on, I have the insight, you know, but it still was a problem for me. So for a lot of people, that readjustment, that reorientation is not successful because they don't have the tools. But most importantly, they don't have the assistance. But even worse than that, they are not even present. You know, I have been very open about my recovery from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I would say that is like the number one thing that, you know, was very difficult for me. And I knew that's what it was because of my profession. But there are people going through it, they don't know that actually they are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. So transition and reintegration becomes even more difficult. And when you look at it from like a larger frame, which is our country, we deal with what hurts us by suppressing it, compressing it, or denying it. And that's why we drink, that's why we smoke weed, that's why we have excess sex, we overeat, we undereat, we don't sleep, we chumogoka. So because we want to numb. We want to numb what we are feeling that we are uncomfortable with.
But that doesn't help.
Of course it doesn't. All it does is suppress and actually postpone or delay the inevitable.
Siku moja
which is,
italipuka.
yes, which is an utter and complete breakdown. Like, part of recovery, you have to break down. And people are afraid of breaking down because they are afraid it means losing control. What people don't realize actually is that you lost control a long time ago. You're actually not in control. You're a slave to your condition and the negative coping that you have adapted to help you to cope. So really, you're not even free. So that's basically what the transitional process and the help with the reintegration comes. There's a residential program, and then there is an outpatient program. I think just first of all, to bring the person to that point of, yes, this happened to me. Yes, this is me. I accept, I own it, and then set a new course, a new trajectory, and that's true north. And just realign yourself back to direction north.
Sawa sawa, hii conversation Aki, I believe inaendelea mpaka kesho. But now, Aki ya nani? I don't know. I feel bad that we have to come to a close now, and there's so much we have not even discussed. I sat with Byron. We actually met by coincidence. When we met, now I was like, hey, we have to do a show
Very
in the
important.
military.
Yeah.
Thank you both for honoring the invite.
Thank you for
Asanteni
having
sana.
us.
Watu makofi yao. Asanteni sana. I also have to give a shout to Major Mwithi, retired Major Mwithi. We have been planning to have a show with him. Na one of these fine days, tutakam tupige naye story. Hata yako na story zake interesting. But otherwise, I'm very, very happy tumejibamba na hii episode. I feel like I've just watched a Chuck Norris movie. So mtu asijaribu imani yangu saa hii. Don't try my faith. Then Byron is my friend. So be careful. Tunaendelea kupiga story on Nation FM every weekday, Monday all through to Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. Inaitwa The Morning Fix with myself and Kate Rida. But otherwise, next week on NTV, same time, same place, notification gang na kila mtu pale YouTube, same time, same place. Otherwise, that's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingoli.